Hello, everyone, and welcome to Entab presents CampusCare EdTalks. The sudden outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic has changed the outlook of every conventional practice all over the globe. Speaking of school education, there is a prominent shift towards the online education, and it is the new normal in education. So, the new normal is being debated continuously to churn out the best out of the new practice. For this, major focus is being paid on how to engage students in online classes. To speak on the topic, we have a very experienced educator with us. She has over 28 years of experience in managing and learning educational institutions. She has been a prolific school leader and has taken Delhi Public School Society Z-Learn Presidium School to greater heights. She has been awarded and felicitated at multiple occasions by national and international bodies. She is also an author and written extensively on changing education space. Please welcome Dr. Rosetta Williams, ma'am. She is the CEO of Dalmia Vidya Mandir of Dalmia Bharat Group. Welcome to Campus Care EdTalks, ma'am.
Thank you, Nimisha. Very good morning to everybody. It's an absolute pleasure and an absolute honor to be here today. So, very good morning. Lovely weather.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Nimisha.
Ma'am, talking about the online education. So, what are the primary differences between online and offline teaching, and how is your experience using the education technology?
Well, it's a very simple difference. Offline is what we are traditionally used to in the classroom. So it's a one-on-one, it's a face-to-face interaction, which we are all used to doing in our schools and our colleges and institutions. That's what offline is in simple terms for everybody to understand. And of course, online, as we all know, is digital education using technology and using Zoom, using Google Classrooms, and using there's a host of technology available today if we want to do online education and very, very successfully also. I mean, it's very effective. Yeah. So that's the difference between offline and online. So for everybody who has a little confusion, when children come to the school and the teachers go into the classrooms and they prepare the lesson plans and teach, so that is what is offline education. Online is absolutely remote and it is digital. So that is the difference between the two.
So, ma'am, the last a few months of online learning has given some amount of data to refer. So, which educators can use for improvisation. So, what were the major roadblocks that you and your school must have faced?
Yeah, okay. So this has been a very, very interesting last few months. Yeah, at the outset, I'd like to say that this was totally unexpected. The pandemic, which suddenly came upon all of us and throwing everybody out of sync with normal life. The current situation, of course, coronavirus has spread worldwide, and it is important for all of us in the schools to take all necessary precautions for the well-being and good health of all the students. Now, if we think of the academic loss that the students are undergoing, so all of us together, the principals, the management, and the teachers, with the help of advanced technology, of course, we need to keep the students engaged. So my teachers were not all that digitally savvy in the Dalmia Vidya Mandir vertical, which is across India. We have quite a few schools which are CBSE schools, and the students are used to meeting the teachers in person. So this was a real challenge for everybody to get the act together and go online. Whether it was the lecture sessions or whether it was support, it was regular classes that we were holding. So that's what we did. So when we had the pandemic, the first act was to put our content together, the curriculum. Now we reduced the curriculum by about 30%. So we made little modules which we could feed the students, and accordingly, one class was about 50 minutes where the students were also assessed during that class. So the success is to have smaller modules. We quickly put online e-learning strategies in place. We assign reading and exercises for home study, so whether it's a podcast or whether it is Zoom. We made videos for the classes for the children who were not able to access online education. They were in remote areas where they did not have internet, so all the videos are uploaded on YouTube. So if a child, for example, misses a class, all that he needs to do is go to YouTube and download that particular subject day and particular period that he has missed. So this is what we began to do. Now assigning teachers to conduct report classes daily and weekly. So we took the help of Google. So we have a Google sheet which comes every day into everybody's inbox, all the administrators and the management. So we know exactly what is the classroom schedule, where the teachers are teaching, what are the subjects, and of course, what is the curriculum that is being covered. And the most important is the assessment. Are the children learning or not? Is it effective?
Yeah.
So when we see that it is not as effective as it should be, then you change your steps. And then probably little portions are redone. So that is how we are implementing education through technology with full technical support, of course. And we are always there for instant guidance on any queries that are required. We've got a help desk created for the parents and for the students. Of course, we have NTAP. I must put on record my appreciation for the wonderful online technology that NTAP is providing to all our schools. So that is the interface that we are using. We have a parent portal, we have a students portal, the lesson plans, the subject matter, the assignments, as well as the instant assessment reports are all uploaded onto the NTAP, as well as the attendance, which is also very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, as we moving forward, now that we have a new system in place, and we can set the system in best possible way. So, what according to you, what should be the primary focus on teachers during online teaching?
The primary focus, as for my experience, is to map the individual child's learning. I think that's a very important thing. So we need to have, of course, classroom teaching or Zoom teaching where you have fewer number of students. So we need to divide one class of 40 children into say about 10.
Yes.
So it is easy for the teacher to, while she's teaching, to continuously keep assessing whether the children are enrolled or not enrolled in whatever the learning objectives of that day is. So there are continuous assessments that is happening while the teacher is teaching. It needs to be interactive, and that is how we are going ahead. And let me tell you, it's fairly successful because if in 10 students there are two children who are not responding, we immediately know that the child has not learned the basic concept. Also, what we have done is we've prepared three levels of worksheets. So once a paragraph or two, a small module is taught by the teacher, we dole out the first, say A, for example, the A sheet. Now, if everybody answers that, so everybody knows the basic concept. Then we go to sheet B and sheet C. So at different levels, we are able to assess the students whether they are learning or not learning. That is very important. That is something which our teachers are upskilling actually in a variety of areas, including interactive apps and user-friendly conferencing and so on and so forth. So everything is happening together actually. Teachers are upskilling themselves. We are trying to assess the students. We're talking to the parents, and we are along the right path. Actually, we are on the right path. So I'm very happy with how quickly everybody has got their act together, and the entire staff is engaged in a lot of professional learning, and they're all prepared. They're ready actually to bridge this transition from a very blended curriculum and delivery in terms of mapping the students' learning to what is being taught. So that is very, very important. We need to understand, we need to measure quantitative measurement of whether the student is learning or not learning. That is very important.
Definitely.
Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
So that is what it is. A lot of learning resources are available for effective communication as well. And I think you learn as you go on because it's a very new situation for most of the teachers across India
Yeah.
and across the schools. So everybody is really working very hard. In fact, there's more time that needs to be put into the lesson
Yes,
planning.
ma'am.
So the staff is really, I think, going overboard, working 12 hours a day, and we're trying to provide the students with what they need. At the same time, we are open for the parents also and their suggestions. It's a state of emergency
Yeah.
in any case, COVID-19. So
Yes.
we need to keep the children home as well as need to go deeper into the technology of educational technology, basically,
Yeah, ma'am.
and follow practices. The e-learning process is something which we need to be hands-on, basically. There's a lot of possibility. In fact, now as an educator, I see much more possibilities, and it's a very interesting time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as talking about the online classes. So earlier, in the very starting, when all the online classes and everything started, so there were a few cases of cyberbullying. So how did you handle them?
Few
There must
cases of
cyberbullying.
cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Oh, when we started with Zoom actually,
Hmm.
and then we progressed to Google Classroom.
Hmm.
Cyberbullying as such, we had a little bit of a problem
Yeah.
amongst our students actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
but as such, we did not face any cyberbullying. There was nothing that really stopped us from going ahead. So
Okay.
we coped with whatever glitches were there on a daily basis. And
Great, ma'am.
normally, when you talk of technology, there are glitches.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have connectivity, sometimes. But cyberbullying, no, I haven't experienced. I mean, if you could give me a few examples of what is it that comes to your mind when you say cyberbullying, so
Ma'am.
maybe then I could specify.
No, ma'am, it's like students nagging the teachers during the online classes. So all about that, or maybe some other student bullying some other student. So about that as well.
No,
So we
no.
have had
Sometimes we did have uninvited guests who used to suddenly pop into the classroom and we didn't know where they came from. But then we were able to remove them.
okay,
But that keeps happening
yeah,
whenever we have classes. We don't know from where there is a sudden pop up and uninvited people do come in. But when it comes to students, yes. What the students, they're little naughty,
yeah,
so they used to switch off their videos. So now when the teacher is teaching and the video of the student goes off, we don't know whether the child is really listening to the
Yeah.
class, whether the child is enrolled for the learning process, or whether the child is not there. So initially, this is what they used to do, most of our children. But we were able to have a parent seminar where we called all the parents with the students, and then we put down ground rules. So what we do now before a class, we have certain ground rules where your camera has to be on, they have to be in school uniform or whatever, dressed formally, and they have to be present. So that is the kind of little naughtiness, mischief that our students
Yeah.
do now and then. More than that, cyberbullying, no, I wouldn't call it cyber.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. It's good to
That's
hear
not
that.
happening. Yeah.
So, ma'am, moving forward, engaging students effectively is a is a very challenging task in e-learning, especially during the initial months that we had. So, what are the ways by which teachers can make online classes engaging and more exciting for the students?
What is it that they can do?
Ma'am, to make it
Uh,
more exciting
I'm
and
just trying
engaging.
to put my, yeah. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm saying that, what are the ways by which teachers can make the online classes more engaging and exciting for the students?
Oh, the
Yeah.
continuous learning experiences is something which we need to keep focusing on the key concepts, the knowledge, the skills. We have to emphasize interaction and creativity. It has to be a balance because if we cannot connect the students to their previous learning
Hmm.
and the current curriculum which the teacher is teaching at in that particular module, then definitely there is a problem. So the teachers have to continuously keep generating an opportunity for the students to help them to gain new skills because this is something which is very exciting
Yes, ma'am.
and there are new contexts where the students can continuously keep changing and applying different skills. We have to give them an opportunity to be very, very creative, as in to interact with the teacher during, you can use a quiz, you can use short answer, long answers are actually not possible, but yes, we do have a system where you give a question and then we have answers where the children can pick or the children can speak out. So there's a lot of oral rendition that happens during the class and thoughtful teaching modules is what I'll talk about here, where they can understand, where they can learn how to apply what is being taught with right
Yeah.
action and with right participation. So the teacher actually has to focus on giving explicit instructions.
Hmm.
There has
Definitely.
to be a lot of clarity in communicating to the child what is expected of that student in that respective class of we now have a class of 50 minutes or an hour. You can increase the time. So different ways we naturally adopt by having sometimes for the junior children, you've got play day, you use videos, you use all kind of different clips, we use pictures, then we have a whiteboard, all our teachers have whiteboards installed so they can write something on that. Of course, we do have worksheets, we have very short quizzes where immediately when the child is answering, it automatically keeps coming onto the screen. So the assessment is a very important thing and it has to be instant. So the report immediately is generated and the student knows that out of 20 questions, whether he scored 5 or whether he scored 10 correct. and then he can take the next test at the next level and redo that. So it is slower than normal offline classroom teaching, definitely. But in the time when the teacher is teaching, during that the course of the class, the teacher is able to ascertain whether the child is learning or not. So we use a lot of different ways.
So, ma'am, as we're talking about online classes and students, so how this this learn from home has created new opportunities for students to learn new things. So and to know themselves better. So, what would you like to suggest the students so that they can be stress free, and what all books and series they can watch?
Yeah, okay. So you want examples? I'll give you an example of what we are doing actually. We
Definitely.
have a lot of competitions which are happening online. Uh, so the children are also doing yoga. You'll be surprised to know that. We have virtual assemblies. So there is all whatever the calendar, whatever the school calendar has put down, we're actually trying to do that online and virtually. Of course, it gets a little difficult because more than 100 students gets difficult, especially if you're having a virtual assembly. But yeah, we're doing that. And over and above that, yes, we are doing a lot of assignments, focused worksheets, homework assignments. It's all regulated through a lot of interactive sessions that we are having over and over again with the students. Proper timetable. So we have special tools to track the students and help them maintain. Now, academic integrity is something I'd like to talk about here because when you give the child an online test, now how accurate is that going to be? Because he has parents there to help him, he has his textbooks. So we have developed a system of immediate assessment. So the teacher teaches, say, for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then she administers an assessment, which is an immediate report which is generated. So we are able to understand whether the child is present, is focused, is learning, and is enrolled in the teaching. So we've just taken another leap towards advanced digitization. And we are also using the Socrative portal for our online assessment. So it's a continuous effort actually that the Dalmia team and the teachers are doing. We are evolving every day. I won't say that we've reached where we ought to have been, but every day things are changing in the world, the digital world, and every day we are adapting to newer concepts and newer ways and strategies of doing the best that we can do actually. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your time. And before we conclude, on behalf of NTAB, we would like to appreciate and thank you for all the teachers doing the wonderful work. And it's really inspiring that how teachers have been trying hard to adjust in the new way of teaching. And thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and for all the thoughts that you shared with us today.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much for inviting me, and thank you for all the support. And you all are doing wonderfully well in
Thank you.
all your endeavors to bridge this gap between education offline and online. So, congratulations to you, Ganesh.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Keep up your good work. Thank
Thank you
you,
so
and
much.
good day to all the viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.